Alright guys, here we have another figure review. Welcome to MCU Collector. This video is going to be a review, but there's also going to be a lot of commentary to it because this is the CT Toys Miles Morales Spider-Man number 92. This is essentially a knockoff, a bootleg of the Mafex figure of Spider-Man Miles Morales. Now CT Toys, which is taking over the toy community, people are learning about it and everything. They basically are recasting Mafex figures. They also did SH Figure Arts, and producing cheap action figures to replace those high-cost import figures, such as Mafex and SH Figure Arts. The brown suit Wolverine seems to be the biggest craze in the community right now. I didn't buy that one. I went and opted for the Miles Morales because I missed out on the Miles Morales Mafex figure. I wasn't collecting Mafex at the time, and I would have loved to have it to add to my Spider-Verse of Mafex figures. Here we have Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider, Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, and then the Symbiote Spider-Man. So I love the Mafex comic Spider-Man figures. They're pretty amazing. I would love to get the Miles Morales, but they haven't reissued it, and it's pricey on the aftermarket. So I opted for the $12 shipped Miles Morales CT Toys. Now, again, CT Toys is a knockoff. It's a bootleg. This is not original Mafex. It's not officially licensed. CT Toys pays no licensing fees to Marvel. So Disney doesn't get their cut. Disney wants their cut. Yeah. So the question is this something that you should support in getting knockoffs? On the one hand, you're like, hey, I can get a cool figure for $12. That's awesome. On the other hand, if collecting, like you want to collect the real deal, the official things. At least in my eyes, that's how I view collecting, is having the real thing. I'm not above knockoffs completely, as I did at one time have a couple, like Ronan the Accuser, Marvel Legends, Fin Fang Foom Build-A-Figure Marvel Legends. I've since sold those off. I don't have them anymore, because for my collection, I don't want to have knockoffs. But I wanted to get this to be able to do this video, talk about it, and kind of give my perspective on it. Am I proud that it got the CT Toys? No. Does it matter? It's all on the individual. Like, I'm not going to hate you or judge you if you get the bootleg. But if you want to get it, purchase it. But, you know, just understand that, you know, it's unofficial. It's not licensed. They say, I guess, that they're recasting the molds from using existing figures and not necessarily having the factory use the same molds that Mafex used. So in some cases, these figures have been undersized in comparison to the originals. So there's all those different things going on. So, you know, how you want to look at it, there's that. You know, you have a lot of AI artwork that people are really against because it's stealing the artwork of the actual artist and stuff like that. This is doing that. This is similar. I'm not going to say it's the same exact thing. It's not. There are some similarities and some comparisons if you want to go through that. So that's the kind of heads up there. I probably will not get any other CT Toys figure. So the Wolverine that everyone is talking about and all that, I don't plan on getting it. But I do want to check this one out, give my perspective on it, my thoughts on it, the review on if it's a good figure, and then you guys are free to make your own decision on if you want to get CT Toys figures or if you're going to stick to the original officially licensed stuff. Again, these are all from AliExpress, $12 shipped, which is great, but you know, the condition of the box, as you can see, it's pretty all smashed up. But on a $12 figure, does it really matter? Probably not. Look at that. Even this tag says Mafex 92 on it. That's crazy. CT Toys Mafex 92 Spider-Man Miles Morales. They redesigned the box. It's very similar to the Mafex, but they redesigned it. So 4 minutes in, it's a long time to talk about all this and that. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to open it up. We got a stand here. It looks very similar to the Mafex stand, but Mafex stands come with a little bit additional pieces, but these are kind of the important pieces to it. So we do get that. And then looking at the tray of the figure here, and it looks pretty good. The plastic might be throwing it off, but the paint apps don't look great on this guy. I don't want to say that they're absolutely horrendous or anything, but they don't look all that great. But let's go ahead and open this up. We'll take a look at the accessories, and then we'll give you guys my thoughts on it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Here we have the side-by-side size comparison of Miles Morales and Spider-Man Peter Parker. So this Mafex number 185 Spider-Man is one of the best Spider-Man figures that you can ever get. It is pricey. It's an import figure. If you order directly from Japan, you might save a little bit. If you choose slow shipping, you're going to save, a bit more. But if you go for like DHL shipping, it's almost going to cost kind of the same of what you would get through like Big Bad Toy Store, but then you're just dealing with a domestic company as opposed to an international company. So I'll have a link in the video description below to Big Bad Toy Store for this Spider-Man because the reissue is in stock. If that's something that you want to pick up, I highly recommend this Spider-Man figure. CT Toys might make one of this. I don't know. But I would highly encourage you to get the official one because it's such a good figure. Now, if money is an issue, CT Toys does make one, and you can get it for $12, $15, $20, whatever. Up to you. I will tell you right now that this Miles Morales is not the greatest figure. I don't think it's bad for $12. Sure, why not? But if you can't spend the $12 expecting the same exact quality of a Mafex official figure. You just can't. Now, the other thing is, this Miles Morales figure, as you can see, he's little compared to Spider-Man. You might be thinking like, well, that makes sense. He's Miles Morales, right? Like, he's much younger. He should be smaller than Spider-Man. So there you go. I don't have the original to do a side-by-side comparison of the Miles Morales. My understanding is that this Miles Morales is an adult Miles Morales based on the Gwenpool storyline where he showed up in one panel, two panel, one issue, and he is an adult Miles Morales. This figure is clearly not adult size as he is extremely small compared. So if anything, it's like, hey, this size comparison makes a lot of sense now. But I don't know if it did with the original because, again, I don't have that, so I can't say for sure size comparison-wise, how that would have looked. My understanding is that he was full adult-size Spider-Man because it was an adult Miles Morales. So we have that there. So just to get that size comparison out of there, and then you could see if I were to bring out, other, Mafex Spider-Man figures, you could see Miles is significantly shorter than him. So if I get like Ben Reilly and all that. God, these Mafex figures are so good. It's like, how do you give up that and go into something like this? Because this quality is also not great. The paint apps are pretty bad. So I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see the paint apps on there. Some of you guys are probably thinking like, oh, not that big of a deal. But it looks pretty bad. So let's check it out. Okay, so here we go. Here we have the Miles Morales. Look at the red in there. It's just very sloppy looking, as you can see, some red spots, just red kind of all over. So the line work on the paint apps, it's not very good. It's just very sloppy looking. It's also a $12 toy, a $12 figure. So it's like, can I really be mad at the paint apps for $12? If a Mafex figure had paint apps that look like this, I would be mad. That's an expensive figure. Paint apps should not be this sloppy. For $12, okay. But again, the whole thing is like you don't want to pay the Mafex price, you want to pay this price, this is something that's going to come along with it. So just a heads up on that. On the heads, again, the red web lines are just not super clean. As you can see in the white, I see a couple of spots in the white of his lenses. Just not very clean. And then it's just kind of black throughout the rest of the figure, not a whole lot going on there. The feel of the figure is different from a Mafex figure. This feels a lot stiffer, which could be viewed in a positive way or a negative way. It's kind of up to you, but it doesn't feel like a Mafex figure is the point that I'm trying to make. It has great articulation, absolutely, because that's what Mafex does, but it just doesn't move around as nicely. You can still get this into the poses and things that you'll want to get. So you do have that, but again, it just doesn't feel like a Mafex figure. The accessories, we get a couple of different heads on here. So we do have one with the lenses are a little bit more squinted down. And you can see, again, a lot of sloppy paintwork on the red. The head also looks really small to me. Maybe that's just me. You guys let me know your thoughts on that. There. We get the mask, so if you pull off the mask, because he does come with the unmasked head sculpt, but you do get the mask that he can hold on there, and again, paint app's pretty sloppy on that as well, on the web lines. Here is that Miles Morales head, and it looks pretty good. Paint-wise, it looks really good. If I were to put this like a side-by-side comparison of what this looks like versus the official, looks really good. It seems really small to me, and I don't know if it's undersized or not. You guys will have to let me know down in the comments below, but this does look really good. The paint apps on the face came out good. So, they can do some good stuff because, again, that is good. But the heads, again, just seem really, really small. So, like, look at that. I wish I had a Mafex, like comic box so I could show you like a Peter Parker head sculpt. But look at how small that head is in comparison, right? They just did these heads really, really, really small. And yes, the body is smaller, but the heads just seem a little too small. Now, I don't know when CT Toys made this Miles versus like the Wolverine figures that everybody is saying is so good. So maybe they've improved what they've done. I couldn't tell you. I really don't know. Other accessories, he does have the magnetic feet that Mafex would do, as you can see there. He also has the magnetic hands, which I can't find the other one at the... Oh, here it is. We do get the magnetic wall-crawling hands, as you can see there, so that is cool. We get some wall-crawling hands to swap out there. We've got open, just kind of these open hands here. Kind of relaxed hands, I guess, if they would focus, as you can see there. Just these open hands. Out of the package, the figure has just kind of the wider open hands there. We get thwip hands, as you can see that. Oh, as you can see there. We get a pair of fists. You also have the web holding hands there. If I could focus, yeah, the web holding hands. And that's going to go with the web pieces that you get. So we get 2 of these web pieces here. So you can kind of slip that in. Oh, look at that. He does not grip that web very well. Mafex, it would have been a much tighter fit for sure. So that is not a good fit because, let's see. Yeah, so that doesn't work out. That's one other difference there, I guess. So we get 2 of these long web pieces that he can grip onto. It's just done in white plastic. And then we get 2 of these shorter ones here. And what this does is you put this around the wrist peg for the hand so you could kind of do the thwipping of the web. And then we get 2 of these longer ones here so you can see the length between the 2. So we get 6 total web pieces. So that is the Miles Morales. Let's go ahead and go over the articulation of this guy so we can see how well he moves. And again, it is going to be good. Okay, so articulation on Miles. He can look up that much, which is a good amount. He can look down that much, which works out really good. You get some good pivot in that head on the neck. And then you can do a full rotation on that neck. The arm you can get to go on, out that much there. You get a full rotation in there, and it doesn't really feel good in there. And then you got that butterfly joint, which can kind of move the back a little bit and forward a little bit, so you can get some really good crossbody there. Again, it just doesn't. It feels like it's probably going to get some paint rub because that shoulder piece is really hitting the torso, so it's just not as. Doesn't move as nicely for sure. You got an upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbow gives you good bend at the elbow. Wrists swivel. As you can see, I just pulled that hand off pretty easily. Wrists swivel and they hinge. You got a ball joint hinge, so you can move it around to be able to hinge whichever way you need to do, which is good. You got the upper diaphragm cut and a ball joint way, so you can get Miles to tilt to his left in total that much there. You can get him to tilt to his right that much there, which is a really good amount. Going back, you can go back really far. Coming forward, you can come that far forward, but you do see a lot of gappage in the back, but that does move around pretty good. Again, it's just very stiff. It just doesn't move as nicely. You get a swivel at that diaphragm. You can swivel at the waist, although mine doesn't really want to swivel. It does a little bit, but you can swivel at that diaphragm as well. You got the drop down hips. So you can bring the leg down that far there. Total splits, you can go that far apart, which is great. You can kick forward very, very high, which is really nice. The leg does go back a fair amount. You do get some thigh swivel in there. Double jointed knee gives you that much bend there at the knee. Ankles swivel. You can hinge down. You can hinge up really far. You have toe articulation in there, and you have ankle pivot. So again, really good articulation. It just doesn't move as easily. It's a little bit tighter, and some of it is because I think there's just not a lot of clearance between some of those parts, which is a little unfortunate. But again, does have really good range of motion. I'm trying to swap the unmasked head on there so you guys could see it, and it feels like it doesn't want to pop on. So that's a little... okay. So I really had to force it on there. Again, that looks really good, but the head does look small. Like compared to his body. Don't you think the head looks a little small, or is it just me? You guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. Having the figure in my hand, looking at it in front of me, his head does look small, in my opinion. But again, it's painted very nicely. It does look good. It's just, you know, size, I think, again, it's just a little bit small. But we have that there. Comes off a little much easier, so that is good. Let's pop this head back on there. And then let's get that head off. Let's put the other one on there with the more squinted eyes. That came on very easily, so that is good there. So yeah, I mean, for $12, yes, it's a really good figure. But again, don't spend $12 expecting Mafex quality, because it's not. Not even close. Really not even close, in my opinion. But everyone says the Wolverine one is really good, and that may be so. But this it's not the same. Okay, so just my final thoughts on it. You know, I can't be mad at $12 for this figure. I really can't. So it's a really good deal. I will give you that. But to me, I can't see myself getting any other CT Toys figures, because it's just not for me. Like, if I'm collecting figures because I really like them, I want to feel the quality. I don't feel that as much with this. So I would like the original Mafex ones, which just feel a whole lot better. Paint apps should be a lot cleaner. Now, Mafex, I know, has had their issues with paint apps, but when you go through official means, you can get those either replaced or anything like that. Like, I've seen and I've heard people have bad paint apps on figures, and they've gotten replacements before. So that is something that you could do. Yes, the price is a lot higher, but again, you're paying for something that it has been officially released, so all the fees go to whoever. You guys may not care about any corporation getting their money, getting their cut. Completely understand. Nothing wrong with that either. So it just depends on what your preference is. For me, it's not something that I'm going to be continuing to get. But again, for $12, yes, it is a good figure. So you guys give me your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of the whole CT Toys thing? Do you have any? You picking them up? Let me know in the comments below. Yeah. But anyway, if you guys like this video, please do me a favor. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.